Hello and welcome to Wellness Influencers, where we bring you the art and science of wellness to discover happier, healthier, and wealthier you. Here is your host, Dr. Kaveh Elahiun.
This is Dr. Kaveh Elahiun coming to you guys live with another fantastic interview with Dr. Aura Tovar. She's an international speaker, a host of an amazing podcast called Get Naked with Dr. Aura. And we are actually very fortunate to have her here today speaking to us. Dr. Aura, welcome.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's my pleasure.
I know you have done a series of speaking internationally, and you are one of the speakers that speak about how to get over our emotions and what the setbacks are when you're setting goals and going after them. So we're going to dive into that. But before we do, give us a little introduction of who you are, what you have been doing, how long you have been doing it, and what's the projects you're working on now.
Ooh, that's a loaded, but I keep it simple for your listeners. Yes, hi, I'm Dr. Aura. I've been a chiropractor for 22 years and in private practice for 20 years. And I always say, yes, I love chiropractic. And through chiropractic, I dove into personal growth, and hence how Get Naked was born. But yes, one of my best accomplishments, I have two teenagers. One is graduating high school, going off to college. And I've been doing the Naked series since for 5.5 years now, which came about due to personal story, as we all have it. I was in an abusive relationship with my second marriage, and all the personal growth stuff that I have been studying for the last 10, 15 years came to play. And it was my lifeline to get out of that relationship, rebuild my life, and find my true why, and be able to then conquer that and shine through Get Naked, which has helped so many people live more raw, more real, find their true purpose, get rid of the layers that don't serve them, to then they can shine through. And that's how the podcast came about. And I have had the pleasure of interviewing more than 90 amazing souls that have shared their hearts and their struggles and their failures and their emotions and their truths to help other people live their best life. I've also created my online program, which is now in English and Spanish, which is a 12-module program to live happier, healthier, and to shine from within with all the masks and the lies and all these blocks that we tend to put on our own path that keep us from living our best life. I'm now writing my book, now that you asked about, and it should be coming out this summer. So I'm going to be getting naked with all of you, and all of you are going to have the pleasure of following that system so it can help you live your better life, because that's my main goal, is to spark the light in you and hopefully the light of your listeners so they can live happier, healthier, and thrive in their own areas.
Amazing, Dr. Aura. Now, when it comes to trying to elevate yourself and find your why, what are some of the difficulties you came through, and some of the difficulties that people who you coach have had, and what are the ways to get over them?
The biggest difficulty, and I'm going to be naked and raw here with you, because I love you, Dr. Kaveh. We know each other personally, and I know I can be really raw here, right? Just give me permission to do that.
Definitely.
The biggest issue is that people are living a lie. They say they want one thing and they do the opposite. And then they just literally excuse themselves or complain and blame others for their not being able to achieve that goal that they so dream and want. This is just that. So the biggest key to knowing if a person needs to get naked, and this is for all your listeners, is if you notice yourself complaining. Whatever it is that you complain about is your window to dive deep into your lies so you can reprogram that got you there, and then remove those layers so you can then find your new why, your new purpose, match it with your value system, and then be able to create an action step that is congruent. Because this is it. It's just full of incongruencies. So many people, the one thing all my clients have had in common is the lie. They are lying to themselves, period. They are just giving their powers away when they give the responsibility away. They are blaming the system, a person, a situation, a religion, whatever. They're blaming something for whatever it is that they don't have. They're blaming their past or their parents, instead of taking the responsibility, seeing how they got there, finding out how they're living in that incongruent space, removing those layers once and for all, burning the bridges, and then creating new. So the lie is the one thing that I would say most people have in common that I have been able to help through the Kaneka system. And it is getting to see that aha lie, right? Is the aha moment when you see your lie and you're like, oh, okay, I got it. And then taking enough guts to remove that lie and to do the work that it takes to reprogram those truths that you've been telling yourself for so long that are really not truths. So it's just getting congruent with what you want. And that's how you find your why. Because if your why is not strong enough, you're not going to want to do the work. The work is hard. I mean, why am I going to lie? Even my Guinea Kids program that is 12 weeks. That's why I coach people through it, because it's hard. And if you do it by yourself, you're going to be like, oh, forget it. I don't want to go through this. This is just too much work. But I will tell you, when you remove the lie and you're able to see yourself in the mirror, love and accept what you see, then you are able to create new from there.
It's amazing that when it comes to personal changes and trying to change your path so you will change your future, a lot of people want to do it, but not many follow through with work. I was given a very, very fantastic advice. They said, if you want to change, imagine somebody holds you underwater. What's the first thing you want? Air. You want to that change to happen to you like that air you need when you're underwater. That's it. So it should basically engulf you as a person, as a father, mother, son, daughter, educator, anybody who wants to change. To change is what we need to do as a human. So now when you're coaching people and they're going through the naked program that you have, what are some of the obstacles that people face to bring excuses not to change, besides basically the painful past and blames that they do?
The thing is that it is in our nature to be comfortable. It is in our nature to find comfort. So the biggest blocks is getting out of that comfort zone. It's going into the unknown. That is the biggest fear that we have to jump. So that's why I mean the why needs to be so strong that, just like you mentioned, that need to breathe needs to be so pertinent, so urgent that you will do everything that it takes, including going into the unknown, letting go of your safety zone, letting go of your security blanket. That is the biggest one. People don't want to be like, but what would I do? What would I do if I lose that person? What would I do if I lose that job? What would I do if I stand up to my friends? What would I do if I stand up to my parents? What would I do if I actually say what I want? It's so scary. So the biggest thing is getting over that fear. And the best way that I've known to help my clients get over the fear is to get that why so freaking strong that the fear is no longer a block in front of you.
So
the fear is something you drive through with pleasure, mind you. You literally like face that fear. You're like, mwah, 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 mwah. Let's make love. You know, we're going to make love through that fear because we're going to walk through it. We're not going to go around it. We're not going to avoid it. We're going to just not cover it up. We're not going to drink ourselves dummy or watch TV or shop or everything that people are doing to live this very asleep life. And again, I can say this because I've done it. I've done all of this. That's the only way I teach a Get Naked to Thrive system, because I'm also a user, right? So I am a daily user. So I've gone through all this, and it's hard. And when you have that fear of the unknown, it is scary. And when you have built so hard to build whatever, and then you realize it's only a lie, it's not really your life, it's not what you want to do, then letting go of that is hard. I'm not going to say, why would I sugarcoat it? Make sense?
Yes, it does. I mean, Dr. Aura, how would one find their why? Where is it? What is it we got to do to find that why? Because that's where most of the people get stuck.
Well, the why is a very introspective exercise, right? You have to go deep layers. It's not usually what you think it is. And, I think I got up on stage and I said, you just got to ask yourself why 7 to 10 times. Why and why? And you get an answer and you keep going, why and why and why, until you go deep to your truth. But it's going to take some self-reflection. It's going to take for you to be honest, because I never forget the first, and to see how your values, right, are going to be matched up, because a lot of people say they value this, but they're doing the opposite. So that's not truly your true value. So finding out your true values, which is the truth, right, is going to then give you into the lies, which is then when you get those together, you remove the lies, you're able to then dive deeper into a thinner cone, shall we say, so you can get deeper into the core of where your true why lies. And that can change, okay? It's not like if you find your why once, that's it forever. No. You're not married to anything, people. Here you can divorce whatever, you can change. You're not a tree, you're not planted. You can move from there and alter as you go, as you grow, because we are constantly changing beings. We're constantly changing, adapting, learning, finding new fears, getting rid of those new fears. The Get Naked is constantly evolving. So I know I probably did not answer your question on how to find your why, because it is not that easy, but it is layers deep of self-reflection. So many people, including ourselves, have taken millions of seminars, haven't we? Mm-hmm. And we think, and we have thought in the past, the answers lie in those. I'm going to tell you that is a lie, another lie we've been told. The answers lie within. So you're always looking for something or someone or a person or a thing or a religion or a career or a goal or an achievement to give you that fulfillment, to give you that answer, to give you that why that you just don't seem to find. Well, I'm going to tell you, it's there. It's inside of you. It's just looking inside and clearing the mess is harder than shopping in a brand new store and finding new clothes. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
that goes for all my girls here. If you say you have nothing to wear, I promise you, if you look through your closet, you do a thorough cleanup, you're going to find amazing things in there. And I know it's harder than going into a new store and finding something new to buy and add on to your mess. But if you don't take the time to clean up your pile of crap, you won't be able to let those new items shine in your new wardrobe. Does that make sense?
It does, definitely. I mean, Dr. Aura, as when you come to inspire people and as a coach, often people think that we give them the why, but we really don't. We work with them to find their why.
Yes.
And to elevate them to a point where they can feel that change that they need to do.
Yeah, and it's within them. It's not, I'm facilitating the process. It's just like innate intelligence is facilitating the healing in your body. Same thing, I'm facilitating the process because it is all you. It is all me. You know, how do I find out Get Naked? Because I kept looking for the answers on somewhere else. I kept looking for the answers and for true love on a man, per se, for my own example, okay? And yeah, I got burned, and because I realized that I kept trying to fill the void that was inside of me. I tried thinking that the true love was going to come from a man, from a situation, that that my fulfillment was going to come from here, hitting a certain accomplishment. And then I crash and burn hard to the point that I went into severe deep depression, because I realized neither the things or the accomplishments or the men in my life were going to give me that happiness that I was so searching for. Mm-hmm. And that was a real punch in the face. But hey, you know, I'm so grateful now that I hit that rock bottom. I'm grateful that I took those choices. I'm grateful that I found out the hard way, because now I see clear. You know, it's like it was there, but I just didn't want to see it. And that's what tends to happen with most people. The answer can be right in front of their faces. And when I start coaching with them, I start seeing it, because you get used to it. And you're like, you're like, okay, you just gotta wait until they see it, right? Because you can't give it to them. You're like, and you're like, you know, you're like, you almost want to, like, it's right there. Just freaking open your eyes. But forgive me, I have a cold. But yeah, so the answers are always within, and sometimes are right in front of you. We just let the world numb us down, or let ourselves numb ourselves down with everything, because we just don't want to take the time to clean that closet, you know, to
sometimes there are things in there that you just don't want to talk about.
You don't want to talk about it. You don't want to clean it. You don't want to see it. You don't want to be able, you don't want to try it on again, to relive it. You just don't want to. So I give the example of the closet, because Get Naked, yes, is about removing the layers. And obviously we're talking about emotional layers. We're not getting naked here. But yeah, so the example of the closet is something that is key. You know, I had a great coach back in the day, Larry Marks, and I love him to death. We share the same birthday. And he used to tell me whenever I was stuck in my numbers in practice, he would say, just go clean your garage. And I was like, what the hell does my garage have anything to do with anything? And he was like, do not call me until you have cleaned your garage. I'm like, okay. So yeah, it's all about cleaning up our messes and seeing our truths that sometimes we just don't want to take the time to see.
Dr. Aura, as a coach, you always come across situations where you can see people's potential, but they can't see it themselves. And in order to live a healthier, happier life, it has to start within. Mm-hmm. How we started this podcast, in generally, the whole idea of it was to elevate everybody so they can recognize what influences they can have in their own life to be happier, healthier, and ultimately wealthier, just because you're doing what you love. Mm-hmm. Now, people trying to work through their problems and issues and trying to change their path, what kind of changes would you recommend? Do you do drastic changes, or do you do incremental, slow changes?
Well, when we take my clients through the Get Naked to Thrive modules, we go slow, actually, because I don't want them to get too scared at first and run the opposite direction and don't do anything. And I feel that sometimes when we give too much at first, it's just too overwhelming and you don't do anything. It's just like, so I like my style is in small chunks, very small chunks, small aha moments that are going to add up to something bigger, for you to see the circle truth, right? You start very small. You start seeing who you are, seeing that we do a lot of mirror work. So we are going to start seeing who you are and what you see. And then we're going to go like, you know, peeling layers of an onion. We're going to go layer by layer. And we're going to just add on, because the more you can see the truth, then you can take the next step. If I just hit you in your face, this is it. You're going to be like, what? You're crazy. I'm going to have a beer. Leave me alone. You know, so you just don't want to deal with that much truth all at once. We wish, right? And that's why I'm very guilty, at least in chiropractic practice, of trying to tell everything to my patients at once. I used to do this a lot. I'll be like, this is it. I got you for 20 minutes. I'm just going to bombard and diarrhea of the mouth and tell you everything you need need to do for you and your family because you're killing your children, you know? And I used to do that. I used to scare people away so much. So this is something I've learned throughout the years of failing that this is not how you do it. So with personal growth, I take my clients in very small chunks because I want them to start seeing it and get the hang of it and get the hang of finding their truths slowly but surely, and then build from there as you keep peeling the onions, keeping peeling the layers away.
And truly, a healthy body lives in a healthy mind, and healthy mind is a must for all changes. Now, self-love is one thing that I think it's not selfish. It should be the stepping stone for any change. What is it that Dr. Aura does to promote that self-love within for herself and ultimately on her clients?
Yes, self-love is my love language. I speak about this all the time, and it's so hard when I've worked with moms, with kids and husbands and businesses, and they put everybody else first. And what do you got to offer? I always go back to the very simple example of being on a plane. Almost everybody has flown a plane, and they give you the example of the mask. Obviously, there is a reason why we have to put the mask on ourselves before we put it even on the child we have next to us. So I always go back to that example. People tend to understand because they remember. We all seen that at some point or another when we've flown. So you have to take care of yourself and nourish yourself like so jealousy, like if it is the most important thing, if you actually want to be any good for anybody else, including your adorable children, including your spouse, including your friends, your family, your parents, your businesses, your whatever it is that you want to actually give your gifts away, if you do not make it a priority to take care of you, for me, and I'm going to tell you my example, okay, what I do, I make it a priority. So every day is before I look at the phone, before I take care of whatever, you know, my kids are in high school, so they leave on their own. I don't even need to deal with that. So, but I have a time for me. First, for me, it's very important to connect to my source. Okay, that comes first. Then I'm second, right there. Okay, so it's time for me to reconnect with me. I go to the mirror and I do this exercise that I've been doing for ages that I learned from Louise Hay, and I reconnect. I say, "Good morning, gorgeous." Right? Let's have an amazing day. I love and accept you just as you are. I forgive you for drinking the bottle of wine last night, or I forgive you for eating the pizza, whatever it is. So you clear the energy. And this is my loving gift to me before I start my day. As I go through the day, I have other loving gestures. Why am I going to wait for anybody to give them to me? No, I take priority there. So I give them to myself, right? I have loving gestures of affirmations that I say throughout the day, which is more mirror work, at least for me. That's how I like to do my affirmations, because I want to reconnect with my soul. I want her to know that I'm listening, that I'm loving her, that I'm paying attention to her, that I'm taking the time for her. And yes, there's plenty other things, meditations throughout, and then I obviously then I do the things I love. I make time to do the things that I love, to eat the things that I love, to do the things that are good for my soul before I pour my heart out to the others, to my significant other, to my children, to my clients, to my patients, to my mother, sorry, mom, to everybody else that is out there that pulls from you, because you can be like a pulling chain, right? Everybody wants something. If you want to be that something for everybody, which I'm going to say right here, be naked, you will never be that something for everybody. So you better be that something for you first, in order for you to then become more clear on your why, on your reason, to then choose how you're going to give that energy to others. to what you're going to give that energy to what, because it's all about quality more than quantity, right? That's what I tell at least my clients. It's not about so many women dealing with guilt trips because they don't dedicate, because they're working and they're not dedicating enough time to their children. And it's not about the quantity you spend, it's about the quality. And if you're not well, you don't have a quality time to give to those loved ones. So you being well's got to trump everything else. You connecting to your source and having some kind of routines, whether it's that mirror work, and then from there, exercise and meditations and whatever it is you want to do. If you love reading a certain book, make time for that. If you love talking to your girlfriends, make time for that. Whatever fills your bucket, you do. But you got to schedule it in that busy life we lead. So for me, it's very important to schedule time for me, to schedule time for girlfriends, times with my boyfriend, times with my kids. I schedule those things because those things fill my bucket, but I got to make sure I am well first. If not, I got nothing to offer.
Amazing. So what you're saying is, so to speak, is your bucket is full. You can share more. But you, to begin with, if you're starting with the empty bucket, there is nothing to give. Now, a mutual friend of ours, Dr. Larry Goldman, had a very nice thing to say. If you remember, on one of your interviews, actually, the best advice he gave was, everybody should practice gratitude. Every morning, wake up and think about what's the best thing that's going to happen to me today. It just sets the tone for a much better day for you, rather than, getting up, looking at your phone.
Grateful journal everywhere, because I forgot to mention that. It's so important. So important. Plus, after you have filled your bucket, you got so much more to be grateful for. And then you can give that much more. Everything is going to come to you if you're just grateful, even for the bad things, because there is a reason, and you and me know it.
Yeah.
You just see everything else. Yeah, Larry, we all come from the same school of thought, and gratefulness and love is so good. I always tell my clients too, when you have a choice, you have the choice on how do you react to things, right? We all have a choice. And it's like we both can be stuck in the same traffic jam, and you and I are going to have a different perception of that traffic jam. Some people can complain about the traffic and say, why? This is a horrible city. I hate Miami. And some of the people are going to use that traffic jam as a grateful time to listen to a book I want to listen, to dedicate more time for me. So when you choose, you have that choice on how you're going to react. Always choose to be grateful. And if you have a choice to say something horrible about somebody, choose to say something good. Choose to say something grateful. Choose to be grateful even for the jerks in your life, because they're showing you a different light that you needed to see within yourself at that moment. Or even better, they're giving you an opportunity for you to choose wiser at that moment. Am I going to choose hate and anger, or am I going to choose love and gratefulness instead?
Wow.
Yeah.
Even the jerks, as you say, in our lives, they have a purpose. Yeah. And truly, instead of looking at things happening to us, we should look at it as happening for us. Yeah. So it gives us a lesson in which you can follow and learn more from it. Now, I know you're a busy career woman, a mom of 2, and you have lots to challenge yourself during a day. Is there such a thing as balanced life?
I just wrote, I think somebody asked me to write something for their newsletter, and I wrote about that word, right? Because balance is really a bad word. I think it should be removed. Vocabulary. There's such a thing as balance. There's a thing of following your truth and living according to your values. And it all depends. And in that value system, right? And throughout your days, there's going to be some days that look like crazy to anybody looking from the outside in. But to you, it is perfectly aligned with what you want to achieve. So it is balance for you. Even though it looks like chaos from everywhere else. the best way that I can say is that you need to find your own balance, your own definition of balance. And stop comparing yourself to others, especially women. Stop comparing yourself to other moms. Oh my God, look at her. She looks pretty. And then she has 2 kids. And how does she do it? How does she balance? How does she find time to do her nails? Right? No, there's no such a thing. What is balance to me? It's not going to be balanced to you. You need to find your own definition. And you can only do that when you know yourself, you know your truth, you know your values, and you know your why. Period. So there is no such a thing as a balance. Some days of mine look very chaotic. And some other days, I'm literally taking a chill pill. And because I choose to, because it goes with my values. As a matter of fact, I haven't even done a naked interview in almost a month because I'm taking a chill pill to reassess and regroup my whole life. And that is my choice. It's going according to my values. To some people, they might think, oh, Aura's lacking. She hasn't done another interview, blah, 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 blah. You know, I don't care. I'm living according to my values, not yours. So stop looking for the answers outside. Stop looking to compare your life to others. Stop trying to look for the normal. There's no such a thing as normal. Be your own normal. Find your own normal. What is normal to you might not be normal to somebody else. And this constant search for balance is killing us. Stop searching. Just look what makes sense in your day and then be okay with that. Come to the mirror and be totally at peace with this is what this day brought. And I'm grateful for it. Boom, close a chapter. Tomorrow is a brand new day. It's like, you know, I love that I think there's a line in Gone with the Wind, you know, tomorrow is a brand new day. Yes, it is. And you get to start it all over again and you get to define your own balance. That's so important to you. I stopped looking for balance a long time ago. I do schedule my most important things because that's how I respect my love for me or my balance for me or for the things that I care about. And that's what I recommend my clients to do. Schedule what's most important. Do your best and let go of the rest. Period. Stop comparing yourself to others. You're never going to win that rat race.
Wow. Truly. Gems that everybody should be listening and using. I mean, elevating yourself to a point that if something is not congruent with who you are, what you want to do, and deleting those out of your life, or at least delegating them to others to do it, it just leaves you open to truly be who you are and do the best you can on what you do the best at. Now, value of coaching. You and I have coaches. What's the value of coaching when it comes trying to have a personal growth, and in your personal growth space, you need direction?
It all depends what you want to do with that growth, right? It depends how much you value the outcome. How much do you value knowing your why? How much do you value having a clear vision for your life? How much money is that going to produce, right? How much value, right? Because money is value. How much money or value is going to produce in your life is that, can you put a number on peace of mind? Can you put a number on happiness? Can you put a number on finding your true source of fulfillment inside of you? If you can put a number, that's the number it should be. But that's it. This is just a facilitator to get you to see something you're not currently seeing. It's a different pair of glasses, right? It's just, and what is that worth to you? What is it worth? If I tell a woman, you know, what is losing 20 pounds worth to you? And whatever number that is, that's how much it is going to be to get it. And then you're going to value it that much more when you achieve it, and you're going to keep it. Because whatever you don't pay for, let's say, and I've done this, trust me, because I've coached for free. All right, I've done it. I'm guilty of every mistake you can ever imagine. And I don't even call it a mistake because I learned so much from it. I should have paid that person. So, so it's so good. However, the people that if you don't put a value to it, you're not going to create a lasting result. You might see a temporary result, but it's not going to stay with you because it was not effort, right? There was not effort from your part. You're not going to put that much attention to it. So I feel that I love getting advice, but I love paying for advice even more because the advice that I pay for, I get more out of it. It's just there's an energy exchange that is equal in order for both parties to grow in the direction of alignment and congruency. And when we have that exchange, you get better results. So it's all about, what do you want? You want to get, what kind of results do you want? Do you want lasting results? You want mediocre results? What is your value for that one thing you want, or the many things you want? Or do you not even know what you want? What is the value for knowing what you want? So when you answer yourself those questions, then everything else is going to be probably cheaper than that.
Now, especially, I mean, the coming back full circle, you know, trying to lose weight, better job, being happier, it all comes back to mindset. Mm-hmm. That's the beginning, and that will be the end of it too. But the results of it is widespread throughout the life. Now, I know time of essence, and you are quite an involved woman. One thing I know about you, you do a lot of mission trips, and you were,
yes, I forgot to mention
vice president, right?
Yes.
I need you to mention that.
Oh my God. If Jason, I'm sorry, I have this cold. I think it's blocking my brains. I'm hoping I'm making some sense. If not, I apologize to your audience. But yes, I'm the vice president of Chiro Mission. You can go Chiro Mission without an S.com. I've been doing this for 12 and a half years. Most rewarding thing, because when you give, you get so much back in return. So I always say mission work is almost selfish, because when you give and open your heart of the abundance and you just give openly without expecting anything, you get that much more back. So check us out, because we have a mission trip coming to St. Vincent now in April, and I have a mission trip to the Dominican Republic, to Santo Domingo, the capital, in August, the first weekend in August. So that is in the books, and we are very excited to take our boutique group to really open their hearts, get over their fears, and give the hearts away in the name of chiropractic, of love, of service, and healing. And when you serve in that way, miracles always happen, because you get yourself out of the way, your mindset is clear, there is one purpose, there is one why, and you would always get results.
Great. Dr. Aura, please give our listeners some addresses where you can be found at your website, your groups, all those.
Woo, there's so much, but I'm going to give you my landing page, which is even easier, which is Dr.Aura.com, Dr.Aura.com, and you can find there my webpage for my chiropractic office, my Chiro Mission, my GetNakedSeries.com page, which you can find also a special that I'm running up to February 14th, which is this Friday, to get my Get Naked to Thrive online course without the coaching at 70% off. Only up to Friday, okay? So we have that. You can go to getnakedseries.com and check that out. And it also, if you end up buying that, I'm throwing in there a free coaching call with me that is worth $500. So just so you can check it out and you can get some guidance. It's how to do this online line. So you can get getnakedseries.com, Dr.Aura.com, chiromission.com, or you can text me at 305-519-6937. Let me know how I can be of service to you, and I'll be glad to get back at you, because I am just grateful. Also, check out my podcast. Yes, my podcast, The Get Naked Show with Dr. Aura, is on all platforms, and check it out, rate it, let me know what you think. I'm going to start coming out with a new guest as well, and it's going to be a monologue very soon of the really hard topics that we don't want to talk about sex and pain and regret and losses, and how to make more money and be happier in your life while taking your clothes off. I'm just kidding.
Well, our viewers, Dr. Aura definitely stacked the value for you guys. Please go to our website. Dr. Aura, thank you so very much for devoting that time for us. Our listeners, our viewers, thank you for taking the time. Thank you for listening to us. Please rate us on the podcast. We are on iTunes and we are on Spotify. We are also on YouTube. We love and appreciate you all. Thank you. And we see you all in another perfect time.